Last but not least is our donkey. The donkey is the type of temperament that is demonstrated with no real sharp edges. They have a smooth edge. When they socialize, they're not overly aggressive or underly aggressive. They're adrift. They can drift in the relationship to not, they don't ever row. They can just drift. In fact, they don't exert a lot of energy doing many things, but they do sit in thought quite a bit. Under stress, one of the interesting parts of the phlegmatic or the donkey is that they calm down under stress. They do not get stressed or frazzled easily, which can be the envy of other temperaments. One of the interesting things is they're very difficult to motivate because of their nature of slowness. And slowness is not an intellectual thing, it's a slowness of movement of any kind. It really frustrates the choleric or the lion. This temperament will stifle the efforts of the choleric or the lion because they just simply won't move. They will shrug their shoulders and they'll say, whatever. When this temperament type is blended with the other temperament types, it tends to have a bit of a reducing or calming effect. So, for example, if you have some of the phlegmatic blended with the sanguine, it tends to temper down some of the sanguineness or the otterness of that person. In the supine, it tends to mellow the supine. In the melancholy or the beaver, it tends to make them a little less black and white and a little more calm in certain areas. And if it's blended with the choleric or the lion, it makes them a mellow lion. Mellow in what ways? So maybe a little more mellow in socializing or in needing to dominate or in needing to express their thoughts or feelings. And but as it relates to them themselves, these are valuable people when it comes to getting things done in an extremely reliable, dependable fashion. I nicknamed them the diesel because they are reliable, they crank up, they're nothing flashy, but they just get the job done. They will do that, and they will tend to lock into a type of thinking, even if they're wrong, that they will not change. They're fascinating because they tend to not get too extreme about anything, especially when you ask them how they're feeling about something. You tend to get a whatever. That was fun. How fun was it? It was all right. They just aren't overly or underly expressive, which can be great, but it's kind of like nailing jello to the wall. So they're tremendous. They tend to be the blend, but when you have this in certain areas, it can create a great calming effect. I find them to be the Monday morning quarterback where when everyone's clamoring to make a decision, they love to tell you how you think things should be done, but they don't ever actually do anything about it because they're just full of ideas but not actionable steps. That's a little bit about the